good, everybody? So we have Iuno, which has been revealed as the next character for the 2.6 patch, along with Augusta. Here we go. While the moon cycles, I remain the anchor. Iuno is a priestess and well known in Septimont for being a prodigy. She is blessed with the infallible ability to see the future by studying how moonlight changes. Blessings can be curses by another name, some may say, and they may be correct. But Iuno is not one to bow to conventions. She strives to bring variation to the constants of fate, the way she brought moonlight to set against the daylight. So we're finally we're gonna be dual wielding the sun and the moon, both Augusta and Iuno. I have to say, this is an insane lineup of characters that we have. Everyone is going broke in 2.6 because of this, and I think we have, yes we do here. Oh, if that's how her weapon ends up opening up, that's gonna be really cool. We hear the water as well. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. Oftentimes in stuff like this, the moon and water have a lot of interconnectivity. As we know, the moon's like gravity in our world influences the tides, and it has that sort of connection. We often see moon and water being linked, but also there's like other links between the moon, Iuno, and water that I think is kind of interesting. And I noticed it immediately when we see her splash shot here that I kind of wanted to look at. Obviously we see something distant in the background here. We see two characters here that are, you know, working together, they're looking towards the moon in some way, which is interesting. We're seeing, you know, the birds around the moon in its different phases, as we have, but two stars that we have. But interestingly, we've seen a lot of imagery of like Greek laurel wreaths playing quite an image. For example, we kind of even discussed in the podcast today how the dark tide might be corrupting in some way, especially when it comes to Iuno and her predictions. Potentially she has laurel wreaths in her hair, and also interestingly enough, we see them here, but they are broken. They're split off. Now, in Greek mythology, from what I am aware, laurel wreaths indicate a sense of achievement, of strength. That's why we call people a laureate, right? That's why, you know, your achievement, you have achieved that status, and that seems to be a thing that's prevalent and common in Wuthering Waves, right? The laureate, the achiever. But interestingly enough, it goes kind of deeper than that, because laurel wreaths, the reason why they're common in Greek mythology is because of the story of Apollo and Daphne, right? Apollo was, you know, pursuing Daphne, who is not a god but a nymph, you know, a spirit, an ethereal spirit of beauty, and he was pursuing her, and she was kind of rejecting his advances. So in order to escape him, her father turned her into this laurel tree, which is kind of where this comes from. And you know, it's often associated with water and streams and rivers. And I think that's how this all links together with the laurel wreaths and water and the moon and tides. It's such a deeply beautiful amalgamation of story mythology into her, and I'm excited. I think this is, for me, just from a character design perspective, okay, a character design perspective, I think she's one of the best designed characters, purely for that reason, where everything kind of ties together and makes her special, which is why she's probably gonna be the first female character that I might get multiple copies of, just because I love her design so much and how they've tied her into not only the lore of the game, but real lore and embedding it into this sort of mythology that we love. I love this. I love this theme, because I was really curious how they're going to incorporate the moon aesthetics into her. Often, you know, with Augusta and Sun, it's obvious, it's fire, even though she's an electro character, right? It's fire. But with Iuno, it's like, how would they incorporate moonlight? But it's so obvious, it's the water aesthetic, and I think they really cooked with this. And the fact that she's able to, you know, do predictions of what might come of the future. It's going to be interesting how the Threnodian might play into this. As we know, the Threnodian is able to manipulate people's thoughts and feelings. And so we've seen it with Mia, we saw it with Lupa, we've seen it with Fenrico. But doing this to essentially what is a seer, someone who could see into the future, that is probably the most dangerous. Someone who is credited with such like achievement, seeing into the future. I could see, you know, making decisions that Augusta doesn't approve of. They kind of need each other, and now we're having the sun and the moon kind of at arms, so to speak, of what's going on, and they definitely counteract each other. So I'm so excited to see just how they're going to do this next part of the story. I think this has to be one of the most beautiful splash shots and reveals of a character that I have seen so far. And I'm just really excited, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think you can tell like how excited I am to see her and see what part she has in the story, because I feel like we don't know that much. Honestly, I feel we really don't know that much apart from hints we've seen. So I'm just so curious what they're going to do with her character and her lore. And I really hope she takes a center stage a good portion of 2.6. And I hope we really focus in on these two characters. We've seen enough of Cardathea, we've seen enough of Lupa and everyone else. I want to see the inner workings of Septimon, what's really going to go down, what is stirring beneath Septimon, and what is going to be revealed. I think this is a fantastic character that we're going to get. So, hey, we'll wonder what she's like. We'll wonder what she's like in game and how she plays, but I really don't care. Just from aesthetics alone, this is a 10 out of 10 character for me. Our blue-haired beauty is actually here. So, that kind of wraps up everything to me. I appreciate y'all. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. I'm live every single day on Twitch, Kick, wherever you like to watch your streams. I'm there talking about Wooer basically every single day. So it's gonna be cool to see you there. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.